The super kraken Nephisto, who powered up to over 540 million power in KvK Season 1, is now in an insane civil war. In this video, I'm going to go over all of the juicy details so far for what is happening. And there will be a part 2 where I meet with the officers of this kingdom and talk with Nephisto. So you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and this is just one of multiple videos I will make about this civil war going on in Nephisto's kingdom. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, you know who Nephisto is. The dude powered up so much. I showed video of him gemming troops. It's absolutely insane. I'll remind you of that video later and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss out on this kind of insane stuff. Now, I am no stranger to a civil war in Rise of Kingdoms. In fact, you may recall when I was less than 20 million power, I participated in one of the most notorious civil wars in Rise of Kingdoms history. In fact, at the time, I was threatened. They said, you'll join our rogue movement or we're zeroing you. And this is true. This happened. I made many videos about this. In fact, I'll have a playlist. There'll be that either down below in the description or as a card up top over my head. But let's talk about the task at hand, Nephisto. How in the world did this civil war happen? In this first video, I just want to review what's going on. And in the second video, I will go way in depth, taking time to meet with Nephisto, who I am in contact with, and I'll tell you about that. It was not so simple. And then also I'll meet with the kingdom's officers, and I am literally in their officer chat right now chatting with them to give you the juicy freaking details about what the hell's happening. So let's just start with where are we now? Nephisto is at odds with his kingdom, and they're cutting his alliance out of their home kingdom. Now, they are in KvK right now, KvK Season 1. And you'd be thinking like, oh man, we got this 540 million power whale. We can't possibly lose KvK Season 1 unless this happens. Now, I genuinely want to represent both perspectives. So in this video, I'm only showing you what we're seeing sort of going on now. And after I've met with Nephisto, and after I've met with these officers, I will represent their positions as they were shared with me. But there's some things that we can all see, besides the fact that Nephisto is losing a lot of territory here with his alliance SOE. That's the alliance that he's in. There's a fishy picture in Nephisto's profile over here, implying that perhaps the kingdom was for sale. Now, I need to say up front that, like, selling anything in Rise of Kingdoms is fully against terms of service. You can't sell resources. You can't sell a kingdom, king title, all these things not for sale. So all of this stuff is fully against TOS, and probably people could get banned if there is deep enough evidence that this was actually going on. So the accusation that takes place in this message is, so bro, 5K and I make sure that tribute get access to king title and you will see people will follow him. And so, okay, what, 5K deal? And then Nep will tell, he's on, I think, told him to open, all right. And there's this drama is basically implying the kingdom is for sale. Now, I don't know how true this is or isn't. And again, participating in this side of stuff can get you banned from the game. You don't want to participate in this kind of stuff. However, there seems to be a second message where this drama unfolds further. So I think you've gone back on our deal. And then the follow-up is, I didn't see the money in my bank. There's no deal. And then you think I give a damn about the 4K. I spend that almost daily in the game. If you don't have the money, it's because of logistics. People in your kingdom chat saying they're with woe against me and so... And there's serious no. And I mean, look, it sounds like there may have been something that went down and something that went awry with the kingship in the kingdom. And I'm just showing what's in his profile picture. Anybody can see this for themselves. And I'll just remind you, selling anything like this is like fully against terms of service. And if you even mention something like this in the official Rise of Kingdoms Discord, you just get banned. So like straight banned from the server. So this is not a thing. So, like selling kingdoms that's not actually a thing. Anyways, theoretically, it looks like that went awry, and now there's this big civil war. And from the kingdom standpoint, there were 3 mails that I've seen so far. The first mail goes as follows. Hi, cuties. Hello, dear friends. You know it's good when it starts high cuties, by the way. Nephisto has declared war on the kingdom and want to take the kingdom for himself. Only not matters what kingdom says. SOE leaders, that's his alliance, have decided to back him up while the top alliances refused him. Nephisto and all SOE members have hereby declared themselves enemies of this kingdom and are free to hit until further talks. I urge you to think about the good of this kingdom that cannot be ruled by a tyrant who thinks his voice matters more than any of you. We built this together. We tried to avoid war for as long as we could. Nephisto and all those backing him up in pursuit of destroying hard-achieved peace cannot go unpunished. Wow, that's juicy, man. So they're basically saying, look, it's all Nephisto. They're a tyrant. GG. The second mail goes on to say, we don't want to hurt SOE players. This is a commonly used tactic, and it's a smart one. But they did betray the kingdom. We'll give you a last chance. Kick this rogue out and the war will stop. Obviously, those who want to remain neutral can join any of their alliance and you won't be attacked. P.S. Stay on your alliance territory if you're in KvK and nobody can attack you. So this is a smart tactic often deployed in this situation where you basically, right, like whether or not it's true, and I'm not judging here because I have not had conversations with both parties yet, although I am now connected to both parties. What I will say is that it's pretty smart to be like, hey, you don't want to get wrecked? Leave the alliance. Or if you stay, you're taking a hard stance. We're going to interpret that as you're supporting what's going on here, and so we're going to take you down. Yikes. Finally, the last mail, high cuties. We face a regrettable situation. Nephisto and SOE want to continue fighting and damage this kingdom more and more. The terms are simple. The council asks SOE to kick Nephisto and hand over the R5 position to stop the fights. Until SOE complies with these terms, we have to fight, but as soon as it's done, the fighting will end. Nephisto has no interest in this kingdom and just wants a good YouTube show, so please choose wisely. I will say this is a great YouTube show. Every SOE member is invited to leave the alliance. No harm will be done to you. This kingdom will suffer from this, but it's nothing compared to what we are asserting. So I think, nothing compared to what will happen. We're together and showing that money can't own people's hearts, and this kingdom does not bend to tyrants, no matter how strong they are. GG. Let me show you how many people are left in this alliance. Here's SOE, that's Nephisto's alliance, and they're at 63 out of 138 members. Actually, they went up since the last time I looked. They were at 58 out of 138 members, I believe. So all that to say, this alliance had a whole bunch of people leave, it would seem, as a result of the accusations made in the Kingdom Mail. I have to say, the weird thing about all of this is that both parties are in a not great situation. If you are the Kingdom, having a player like Nephisto be rogue, even if he's acting alone, which currently he isn't, but even if he was acting alone, this is hugely problematic. One single player at this level of power, sitting in a zone 3, which is where he is right now, can wreak absolute havoc. Remember, he can zero anyone, anywhere, anytime, as long as they don't have a peace shield on. It doesn't matter whether or not they're on territory in home kingdom. As long as he doesn't leave zone 3, he could stay in here into perpetuity and be an absolute disaster, making it so they can never farm, they can never even really use the zone, they can't really rally and zero him. Literally, a player like this early on, with this level of power, can absolutely freaking raffle stomp this kingdom. And look, he can't be everywhere, okay? And he can't beat everyone all at once. But Nephisto, for a player, again, that has gained this power this fast, can absolutely decimate this kingdom's resources and ability to gather resources. And even if Nephisto gets absolutely clapped every time he leaves his city, which he won't, and I will show you pictures of his commanders and equipment as of a couple weeks ago when I first connected with him, let me tell you, he can drain the ever-living heck out of this kingdom's resources. And here he's got a little Minamoto running out of his city. And no, well, here goes all his marches. Okay, this is probably a pretty good example of the problem of trying to contain a player like Nephisto. Because when he brings his 5 marches outside of his city, he is going to dumpster march after march after march. And even if he doesn't, even if he loses the trades, Nephisto's resources are effectively unlimited because his limit is his credit card. And he has plenty of money of that, I assure you. So the problem here is that even if the kingdom ultimately wins, it is going to be a costly victory. The kingdom is ultimately losing a shocking amount of resources, a shocking amount of speed ups. Look at this. March after March, man, is just going to get zeroed. And the thing is, you don't really want to stand outside Nephisto City. Like, I get the show of strength that they were doing there. And, like, look, you wouldn't know this if you're, like, kind of a new player of the game. But, like, there's nothing to accomplish by standing in the field just then. So, like, probably just don't be there is the answer. You don't even want to be there because here he goes. March after March. And look at this. All these marches are wailing on Nephisto. But look how high health he is. He's got his Sun Tzu. Look at his pairs. Sun Tzu Freddy. Okay, we've got Mina Double C. Ethel Barca. Thutmose. Oh, nice. Okay, new archers are together. That's Thutmose Emotep. Okay, and I think that's Martel Mepmed, right? Like, how do you deal with this? One of Nephisto's marches is now half yellow, and he's sad-faced a bunch of marches. Like, the resource and speed-up cost at some point is really not worth it to the players of this kingdom. So, the big end-state victory for this kingdom, if you're in the perspective of the kingdom, is that Nephisto migrates out, and the sooner that happens, the better, and he doesn't go too rogue for too long. But as Nephisto turns around and sad faces yet another march here, I feel like it's pretty unlikely that Nephisto would just turn away from all this fun that he can have, doing basically whatever he wants with, oh my god, whatever marches enter the field. Dude, look at this. Now, if you're Nephisto's perspective, what's your win condition? I mean, look, if you want to enjoy kind of wrecking these folks, like, you probably can just do that. As long as you use peace shields so they can't do too much damage when you're sleeping. And even that, like, I don't actually know if there's even a T5 player who could launch a viable rally, or if there are even multiple to multi-rally. Like, it's just too painful to zero a player of this power. It just is. And look at this. He's just cleaning up these marches outside his city. I mean, if you're in Nephisto's shoes, what's your end game here? Right? The kingdom's end game is for you to leave. Nephisto's end game, he probably sticks around, causes some havoc until migration opens up around KvK2. He probably migrates to a different KvK2 kingdom. There should be no shortage of kingdoms that will be interested in having him, because, let me tell you, I mean, the amount of gold chests he has given to this kingdom, which adds up to speed ups, gold keys, and more, is freaking astronomical. Like, it's honestly astonishing just how much the kingdom benefits from all those gold chests. So he probably has no shortage of choices for where to go. I think that he should probably enjoy being in the early game for KvK Season 2 and KvK Season 3. Eventually, he gets to the Season of Conquest, and at that point, he just goes ham on sovereign keys and other things to catch up his account. He'll get his equipment to where it needs to be. Not to be a rally leader, garrison captain with the KvK stuff, but he'll be in an amazing spot. It's only a matter of time, assuming he continues to spend this way, and he does plan to get to 1 billion power by KvK2, and to be the fastest player to reach 1 billion power in the game, which still I find to be absolutely mind-blowing. I believe that record is currently held by Justin for the fastest to get to 1 billion power, right? Fastest is defined sort of as the time in which you created the account to getting to 1 billion. Super fast and super crazy. I'm going to chat with the officers of this kingdom, get their side of the story. And as I mentioned, I'm already in a conversation with Nephisto, but this was actually a weird story in and of itself, because Ruz put me in a group chat with a guy who was supposed to be Nephisto. But it turns out that it wasn't actually Nephisto, it was a fraud. So the first thing I had to do was ask Ruz, what the heck, bro? You didn't validate that it's the real Nephisto you put me in a group chat with? From there, I connected with the real Nephisto, and let me show you a few pictures of his account. This was as of the start of this month, so the beginning of September. He's still many weeks worth of whaling further along than this. He's got all these commanders level 60, which is difficult, by the way, because experience is hard to get early on. Of course, Minamoto's expertise. He's got 3 legendaries on there. His Charles Martel is expertise, and he's also got 3 legendaries, including 1 talented, GG. Bunch of epics on there as well. Thutmose has got 3 legendaries, 3 epics. I mean, his equipment's absolutely insane. At the time of this screenshot, it was the 3rd of September, right? So he's probably got Thutmose expertise by this point. 5, 3, 5, 5. It's almost certainly expertise now. His Mehmed was 5545. It's probably expertise now. His Freddy was just a few sculptures away from expertise. That's probably expertise on the field. El Cid was almost expertise at 5545. This is all probably from gold keys, by the way. Richard was at 5551. It's probably expertise or really close to it now. Even his Ragnar is 5543, and that will be a super viable commander early in the game. Like, this account is absolutely god tier stacked. Here's the legendary equipment that he had at the time. This is the set helmet, the archer set bow, and also archer set helmet and legs. He's got, oh wow, the attack cavalry chest. I mean, he probably got that from a sovereign key. Players like this are typically gemming ridiculous amounts of sovereign keys and gold keys to get the sort of patterns that they're looking for here, because there just aren't enough events yet to make whatever they would want to make. He's got an Ash the Dawn, which is really solid, the Eternal Night legs, and a Talented Hope Cloak, which is pretty freaking dope. Of course, many kingdoms will try to recruit Nephisto, regardless of the origin of this drama story, purely because of how freaking powerful this account is going to be. And I think he really should, as I said earlier, just enjoy the early game. Find a place where you can probably relax. In the grand scheme of things, I actually don't think you want to hold the king title. If there's any title you'd want to have put on you all the time, it's the Duke when you're training troops. King is really not all that it's cracked up to be. Like, anyone who's actually held king for any period of time knows that you really don't want the king title and all the responsibility that goes with it. Although the extra stats are nice when you're battling, and it's honestly a mistake to not put king on whoever your garrison captain is or your rally lead is. It's doing the majority of the work there. So if you found this story interesting so far, consider subscribing to the channel, because you're not going to want to miss the part 2, where I've had that chance to meet with the officers of the kingdom, had the chance to talk with Nephisto, and get a representation that is perhaps fair and balanced for what both sides feel went down and what happens next. And if you want to see when I was in a crazy civil war, I'll have a card that shows up right over here in the end credits that is going to be absolutely insane, and another card up top, because the Civil War stuff is just so damn nostalgic for the early game. You probably want to check it out. Until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies, and leave a comment down below with what you think's going on and who will win between Nephisto and 2831.